Hello folks, good evening. Once again, welcome back. And together with us in the studio, we've got Mr. Gerald Mak.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, hi everyone. Thanks for having me here.
He is basically the superstar.
Yes.
Uh,
You to us, you're considered like Robin Hood, you know.
Correct.
Every day, you see his post, he goes around town, he looks for potholes.
Potholes and then
The longkang no
the
cover.
longkang no cover,
Ah.
longkang sumbat and all that. Yes, actually, is a good thing. You see, sometimes if you kena the old people and all that walk past and then suddenly trip and then fall down, injured. Never mind, no, fall down suddenly, toing how? Lagi teruk.
that's right.
Actually, this is just part of me. I'm very concerned about the safety of the people.
But this is not your job, right?
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, as some of you may know, I'm an ex-city councillor for the Penang Island City Council. And that is where, I got to know the channels, to forward your complaints and to better our city. So basically from there, I learned the procedures of making a complaint, and I want to do my part to help to make Penang better. Yeah, I myself from Penang. I came from St. Saviour's.
Oh, St. Saviour's boys lah.
Yeah.
All the St. Saviour's boys,
And
comments,
the
Yeah.
comment.
marching,
Then studied law from University of London, became a lawyer, settled down in Penang, and then this is my city, and we want to make it better.
Were you born in Penang?
Actually, I was born in KL, but my grandfather, and all were from Penang.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you've stayed in Penang how many years?
Ever since I was a boy, maybe I don't know, in the 80s, mid 80s. Yeah.
So consider Penang lang lah. That's why
Yeah.
he's on our show.
有講嘅話，有講嘅話。
有講到 OK already lah.
你有講福建話講冇叫嚟 show 咧，唔是。
Gerald also likes what you call the 90s music. 80s also, you like?
Yeah, I always listen to them, and then brings back memories. Yeah, we are the
Memories.
80s, 90s kids. Yeah.
So you mentioned that you were in the MBPP. You were an
Yeah.
MBPP councillor,
Yeah.
City council.
city councillor from 2018 to 2019.
Yes, I served one term from 2018 to 2019, and I gained a lot of experience as a city councillor.
What actually is the function of a city councillor?
What's the role actually?
Under the law, the local there's a law. It's called the Local Government Act. City councillors are appointed by the state. Previously, before the 1970s, they had local councillors.
Yes.
But now, as it stands now, we are appointed by the state authority, the state government. We are appointed, and what we do is we are sort of like think of it like a board of directors. We run the city together with the mayor. There are 24 of us, and we make policies regarding the cities, regarding your assessments, regarding roads and local maintenance of the city area, trees and all that. So the well-being, the maintenance of the city and all that is under the city council.
Okay.
We are the sort of the one that is overseeing all the departments, making the policies and ensuring that everything is.
Planning also, you guys planning like.
Yeah, there are departments that approve the plannings and all that. There are committees in the council where the councillors sit in. For example, the one-stop center, we call it the one. These are the people that will approve your plans for the developments and for the plans. And,
Okay, cool.
The planning, huh?
Yeah.
All right.
So
What are your during your time as a city councillor,
Yeah,
you do have a lot of memories,
yeah.
or you've seen a lot also as well, so right?
Yeah, I think there are a few off the hand,
The most memorable one.
Yeah, I mean, for example, during my time, Penang were the host of the Asia Pacific Masters Games, and we had it at the City Stadium and throughout Penang, and also we had the APUF Asia Pacific Urban Forum. That was all during my time. But for me personally, what I'm very proud of, what I achieved, what I think is an achievement for myself is basically I did a program where the thing was we went for a convention. All city councillors went for a convention in Putrajaya in 2018,
Okay.
December, if I'm not mistaken. And one of the issues or one of the topics that was about uplifting B40, the
Group.
B40 community, the group. So one of it was in aspects of water safety. So I thought about it and I said, like, look, what can I do for the B40 group regarding water safety? And then I realized that when you read in the newspaper, almost every school holidays,
Yes.
Yes,
there are a lot of
always cases.
Cases of drowning. Drowning.
And unfortunately, these people may not be able to access what we take for granted. You know, the swimming clubs, the private swimming clubs, and all. It's quite expensive, you know. So what I thought was, these people need to learn water safety, need to learn how to swim, because you cannot stop them from going to the pools. And to
They love it.
yeah, they love the water. So
Who doesn't actually?
yeah,
So
but
they'll
you
go-
must be
they'll
safe.
go to the rivers,
The
they
seas,
go to the nearby lake, and then they don't know how to swim.
Yeah.
You know, they don't know.
So
about
that's the
safety.
thing. We need to educate them on the safety aspects of it.
Mm-hmm.
So I pioneered this program
Mm.
whereby I use some of my allocations to give water safety awareness and swimming lessons to the B40 kids. I mean, it's on my Facebook if you look back on that time. We gave about 300 over students in
Wow.
throughout a 1 year period. We had different classes. About 300 over students benefited from this program. We taught them basics of swimming, for example, how to breathe, to float, and a little bit of backstroke, moving up and up. The most important thing is how to identify danger. For example,
Yes, yes.
don't go to the deep end. If you are caught in in a water, you know what to do to float and all that. So yeah, we did something like that. I'm very proud.
Even
of
like
it.
you mentioned, the proper attire.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
we noticed that some of them has not even been to a swimming pool before, to a proper swimming pool. They do not have the proper equipment, the goggles, the swimming costume.
Correct.
So we did provide them with the swimming suit. Those that don't have, we gave them goggles to use at the time, and also swimming caps and all that. So we gave them a complete
Full set lah.
yeah, so that they actually know that this is the proper way to do swimming, not just wear your jeans and your
yeah.
sarongs and all that.
Correct. Actually, proper attire plays
very-
a
Big
big role.
Yes.
Yeah.
Imagine like now we are like what we are wearing now and we jumping to the pool
It's
and
not
see.
suitable.
I think the jeans will become twice
heavy.
heavier.
Yeah.
Our shoes will prohibit us from swimming
Yeah.
properly.
Correct.
These are the things that people lack awareness of. They think that it's all fun and games.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
when you're in the water, it's very dangerous. This is what I learned as well. It's very dangerous because there's currents, there's depth, there's a lot of things,
Even 2 inches of water can knock us down. You know?
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, so breathing techniques and all that is very important because I myself, I'm not a very good swimmer. So I took it that I want the younger generations or the people that do not have the opportunity to at least
I think that's a fantastic idea.
yeah.
that
I'm
program.
glad that 300 students has actually benefited from it.
300 students,
Throughout the course of the year, and hopefully, it will be
good, lah.
it will be revived.
That's
I
why on
guess. Yeah.
Facebook we call him YB.
No, I'm not a YB actually. Yeah, they're just teasing, but
we're
yeah,
just teasing.
Yeah.
but that's a fantastic program, I think.
yeah. I hope so. Yeah, I mean,
Even through this program, you save one life.
yeah.
It's fantastic. I think.
I always tell myself is always one life too little if you lose anyway. You cannot we cannot afford to lose just even one person. It could be
Yeah,
someone's
yeah.
father, someone's child. It's just too much. So that is why every life that we save,
Matters.
it matters. So
Yeah.
the actual objective or actual vision of this program is actually one fine day to produce from this batch of students probably some lifesavers because it's in collaboration with a life saving society BLSS and the trainers Miss KL Tan in particular, she always had this vision of actually training up more lifesavers
Yes.
so that anytime, there's a need, you go on a ferry, we are surrounded by water. We have been, anytime you go on a boat to Muka Head or whatever,
Yeah.
anytime there's an accident, there will be at least someone, it's like a St. John kind of thing. There's someone,
aid, yeah.
first aid at least, if someone is trained in life saving, proper life saving.
Yeah.
Because if you're not trained in the proper life saving skill, you might yourself get into trouble.
Yeah.
So, I remember a couple of years ago, so there were some firemen, if you remember, that wanted to save a child, and then they got into trouble.
Correct.
So you must be very aware that water safety issues are not just, it's not child's play.
There are a lot of instances where the person who tried to save the others
End up drowned.
Yeah, and
So that is the thing. We hope that from a young age to train maybe future water. And this is also awareness to the public as well.
Actually,
Wow.
to the public, not many of us know how to do CPR. Not many of us know how to, especially doing first aid also as well. So
how to pull the person
how to
out
pull
from
the person out from the water.
Yeah.
That is also a thing we have to look into.
Yeah. I'm no expert myself, but I have people that are qualified, and they are the ones actually teaching. We taught CPR to the parents and all that.
Yeah.
It's all on my Facebook. You can look, what our programs are.
Check out his Facebook, Gerald Mak. That's M-A-K, Mak.
Yeah.
It's right down here also as well. Okay.
So Gerald, you
Yeah.
are a lawyer by trade, right?
Yes.
So can you tell us, layman like me, what does this emergency, now we are in an emergency state, right?
State of
How
emergency.
does this emergency affect us?
Well, to put it very basically, when there's an emergency, when the government declares emergency, the normal process of, for example, lawmaking, right? As you now know, maybe we are not in session, the parliament is not in session. We don't have what we call acts of parliament. If you go through the normal parliament sitting, it will be called acts of parliament. When it's an emergency, it's called an ordinance. An emergency ordinance, whereby the Agong, the king, will just sign off a law, and it will be enforced throughout the emergency period.
Yes.
Yeah. So basically, well, as you can see every day, there's not much difference in terms of life and all that. But when it comes to the legal point of it, there are certain things where we bypass or for the sake of expediency. Because when in an emergency, you cannot be affording to go for debates and all. So certain things have to be done quick. So that is the reason why I think we declared an emergency, and then we won't go into the details of what ordinance have been made and all that. But yeah, so long as there is this emergency, certain things are curtailed. For example, we cannot have a sitting and then all that. So it is what it is. How it will affect us is like, if there's no parliament sitting, we cannot check and balance the government in a sense.
True.
At the same time, we are allowed to run our economy as well. But there's also some negative perception, like maybe we are when you use the word emergency, it's very scary. It's very intimidating. So I leave it up to the people. What they think about it.
But for day to day, routines like what we do, I don't feel anything.
Actually, we are
out of
in
the
a normal
ordinary,
day now. It's
That's the irony of it. So, well, like I said, the reason for the emergency was because of the COVID. Because as you know, now we are going through the immunization and all that. So we need certain laws to be passed and all that. So that is their justification. Whether you agree with it or not, then is up for debate. But the point is that we can do without it because basically we are not affected daily actually. So why have an emergency that is not really affected? Yeah.
True.
At the same time, it's not the emergency like we had in previous times where there was a communist insurgency, where there was real danger of being life and death. So yeah, in a way, COVID is life and death, but not to the extent where you randomly get shot at and all that, ambushed, going up a Penang, So those days were quite different from now.
The virus dropped bombs.
Yeah. So I guess, well, to have an emergency, and having everything done as usual, really,
What's the point, right?
Yeah, we leave it up to the people to decide, but that is,
Nowadays got another news, right? There's now this very big gangster.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Big Tai Lo. Not Tai Lo lah. He's not Tai Lo.
He's a Datuk Sri. Okay? I'm sure all of you know this. So is gangsterism still rampant in our country, or do you get many cases regarding
Gangsterism?
Yeah, I mean,
related to
I
it,
know.
or?
I mean, I personally do not do much of a criminal law, but what we read from the newspaper, it seems that there are still cases where, quite recently, I think it was in Selangor and all that, there were gang fights, and people were just, running on the streets with parangs and chopping each other in broad daylight and all that, you see. So I guess in certain parts of the country, we still have this problem of gangsterism. You see, under, we have this Societies Act, okay?
Under what?
Societies Act, yeah.
Societies
There's a law where
that you must be registered.
yeah, you have to be a registered entity. If you're not a registered entity and you are recruiting people and in a group of people, then you become a registered society, which is basically termed as a gang. And
it becomes secret society.
That's why it's called secret society.
the term secret society, I'm not sure how it came about, but in the police force, they have actually a unit where they actually deal with specifically on this as part of the law. So I guess there are still, but it's not probably not to the level where it really endangers our security, but there is some incidents where it still happens, I guess.
Not like what it used to be lah.
Yeah, not what in the old days. They had the
Cowboy Town,
the Gihin and the
This one back to sejarah.
Yeah,
This one
they had the flags and
Gihin.
yeah. So
Now we got Gihyang.
Gi Hyang and Ban Hyang, both also fighting.
but those are registered.
Yeah, that's why.
That
Not
one not
secret.
secret.
yeah. So anyways, I mean, those days there were no law and order.
Yeah.
That was way before the Societies Act. So that is why we regulated the Societies Act. You have to be registered and all that, so that we know who you are, and you have accountability. So I guess we have more or less trying to stamp it out, but this thing is an ongoing process. You'll never completely get rid of people.
Hello.
Yeah.
But how? I'm wondering, how do you charge somebody under this secret society act?
Yeah.
Because if I'm joining a secret society, there's no form for me to fill.
You can't fill in the form. You can't have any trace.
That's why.
Because
So
it's
how-
a secret.
How do they charge them? I also don't know.
Yeah, I think this one is best you leave
Evidence,
it
I think they have to
to
correct.
the police and how they do the investigation. Basically, in those days, what I understand was even they can identify you based on your tattoos.
Tattoo.
You know,
Yeah.
if you have
Talking
a
about tattoos,
Yeah.
I got a few tattoos lah, but not tribal and not triads tattoo.
Triad.
Not triads, okay. Every time I'm on my EX5 going
Sure,
buy
kena stop
makan,
one.
sure kena stop one.
Then your
Buta
EX5
one.
behind.
Buta ni kena stop. And then they ask me, ini gang mana? I say, what gang? Apa gang? Now it's 2021 already lah. What gang semua? It's called art.
Body art. Yeah.
Body art.
Body art.
Yeah. I guess. I mean, well, they have their ways of doing their job, so we won't question them. As long as we are cautious of ourselves and we are not involved in anything illegal, I think we should be fine.
Correct.
Yeah, you don't extort people, you don't beat up anyone or that. You should be fine. I mean, just having body art doesn't make you a gangster, So it's more than that. It's more than that. Yeah.
But the police used to have this op chantas, right?
Yeah.
Where they check all your tattoos. Man.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, it's one part of it. Yeah, it's what we call maybe what we call prima facie on the surface. If you have a tattoo and it has a particular significance,
Like okay.
Number.
Number is one. You got a dragon. You got a tiger. Liao gone already.
But
even a butterfly could be,
Suddenly a phoenix. Also teruk already. That's why lah.
But like I said, as long as it's not just one issue. It's not that you just immediately have a tattoo, you're a gangster. There are a lot of things to be put, to prove that you actually, it belongs to a secret. So when you go to court and they want to charge you, they have to be very sure. They have to have some evidence to say, for example, you are linked to this person and you have committed such and such crime, right? There is, of course, under the Penal Act and all that, being involved in a society that is a secret society is also an offense already. that is less severe.
Hmm.
Being involved in some society and then you commit a certain other crime,
Ah.
for example, robbery or that would be,
Loan sharking.
any other crime,
Usually
you see. So you have to see what kind of charges they brought upon you. Not just because you have a tattoo, but what you
You
did.
see this Dato Sri where got tattoo? Got I don't know.
How we know?
I see his video like none like that.
Must inside or back, maybe got.
But actually he's,
Yeah, I mean,
he's
we don't know. Yeah.
Okay, recently also got another case. You know,
Bumper, touch the bumper or something.
touch the bumper case. You know,
Touch the bumper case.
the motorcyclist go and touch the girl bumper. How lah?
How like that?
Well, to put it in the legal terms, it's called actually outrage or modesty, or we call it molest. Yeah. So under the penal code, if you touch a person's body, any part of the body unwantedly, for example, you touch a private part of a woman without her consent and all that, or
But this one bumper, okay.
yeah, it's considered touching any
Okay.
part of the body.
Oh, any part.
Yeah, because it's not
Bumper
warranted.
included.
Yeah, it's not warranted.
Bonnet,
Yeah, I didn't ask you to touch it. It's not for, like say, for purposes of security checks. That would be quite different. But if you do it out of for some
Curiosity.
Intentionally
sexual pleasure or something,
Uh-huh.
then it becomes an offense.
Ah.
Yeah, because you cannot go around touching people, right? It's quite simple. You cannot be.
Maybe you call the auntie, oi, like that.
That's why there's a like I said,
Ah.
you must have a reason why you're doing it. If you are doing for calling attention to save the person, for example, you're pulling her out of danger. You cannot consider that molest, you see. But if you're doing it for some ulterior
Your personal
motive,
enjoyment.
something like that.
Personal interest.
So
lah.
how do we know that? It's how
Yeah.
the woman feels. If she feels that you have invaded her space and she's not comfortable, I don't know you, and yet you touch me, random. I feel molested. So that is where it becomes an offense. You see, I didn't ask you to touch me. Why you have no reason to touch me? Why are you touching me? You know.
Yeah.
So that is the circumstances. So it's very, there's a thin line between accidentally bumping into you and actually wanting to bump you.
Yeah, like this fella jalat lah. He silap hari bulan. Kena CCTV.
Yalah, the
And
Huawei
CCTV
semua.
very clear.
Huawei P30 zoom sama.
If no CCTV, how?
That's
Then
why.
the girl,
Yeah, so that's why
buta ni.
there are a lot of cases where there are instances where things happen but we cannot prove it because it's just a
Your
glimpse
word
of,
against my word.
Yeah. So it's open for abuse sometimes that people can frame you up, for example, I didn't do it, or there can be lack of evidence where you cannot charge a person. So it's very difficult. So it's best that if you have been a victim, to immediately make a report. So the faster the police can investigate. Yeah, because these things has to be done quickly before
Immediately.
Yeah, before the evidence. If you have a recording or something, if you're able to get a CCTV, or if the person is still around there, you can actually, get a recording of what he's doing, or your friend or something. These things will help, right? Because otherwise, it's very difficult if you are just two of it. And people get away with this, and it's unfortunate, but. You should know your rights, right? No one should be touching you unwantedly. Yeah, it goes.
Talking of, okay, I got one question. Talking about rights, right? We as Malaysian, our rights, like police. I don't know lah. I got something with the police going on. They come over and then, hey, my IC. Can we pass our IC over? Actually, no, right?
No, you don't pass your IC over. You have to produce your IC to show it to them.
Correct. We produce, but they hold.
Yeah, they must have what we call reasonable grounds. Okay, they have some suspicion of you being involved with, like say, for example, gangsterism or something. They have the right to ask you who you are and then to take your IC and then to confirm your identification. What they normally do is they will read out your IC number to the police.
To the balai lah.
Yeah. They have a communications bilik rakan and all that. So they will get confirmation from this database that is like, oh, okay, this guy is actually this. If, for example, your name doesn't appear as what the IC,
yes,
and then you're in trouble because you might be holding a fake ID or you know who you are.
Oh, okay.
You see?
Okay.
So let's say the IC number belongs to a certain other person, but here,
okay.
Oh, suddenly check and then call back and then come back. Chan Ho Nam. Oh,
What they normally do is they will check for previous records.
Records.
Correct.
yes,
And
yes.
any records have been lodged against the person. And then they will see,
Wanted.
fugitive. So they have a right, if they suspect you of being that person, you look like the one that is wanted or something, they have a right to. But even that also, you have your own rights. For
Yeah.
example, if you are detained, right? We have a red book, what we call a red book. The Bar Council has a red book where they are given your rights. I think I put it out in my Facebook as well. When
Oh, you got the red book on your Facebook.
yeah, it's actually at the Bar Council's website as well. You can Google. It's called the
okay.
Red Book. Yeah.
Everybody, please go and check out this red book.
Yeah, it's by the Bar Council of Malaysia. So it lists out your rights, what you do when you get detained. You have the right, for example, to ask for the authority card. Every policeman carries an authority card. If for the rank and file, those below inspector, they carry the yellow ones, and then for those above, carry the blue ones. You have a right to ask them, hey, I want to know whether you're a real policeman or not. All right. Same as they have the right to ask you for your IC. You must have that, unless they're in uniform with the badge number, and you can see that they're on duty. Right. Normally, when they're on duty, they have to be armed. They have the badge number displayed, their name tags and everything.
Okay.
So if they're off duty, normally they will put a jacket on and cover up to indicate that they're off duty. They will still have the uniform inside, but they'll probably not be armed. Some of them are armed off duty, those undercovers and plainclothes policemen. But uniform policemen normally, generally, when they are on duty, they are normally armed. So you can more or less tell that they're on duty or not. Certain policemen on duty, they are not armed, like the court policemen, they are normally not armed for certain reasons. But if the patrol policemen, they're normally armed. So they are patrolmen, they are police, they come in a police car and all that. If they abuse their authority over and above what they're supposed to do, for example, they are not supposed to, for example, strip you naked in public. In the middle of the road, they strip you naked to check on you. All how that has to be done in the police station.
How about check your handphone?
Yeah, that's the thing. What are they looking for?
That's the thing.
If they have a reason to believe that your handphone holds incriminating evidence or something, you have committed an offense, for example, that handphone is the subject of the investigation. They have a right to go and...
Oh, they have the right,
if they can show that this handphone is needed for that investigation.
But inside my phone, there's nothing.
That's
only Instagram.
But they don't know, you see. The thing is, the policeman doesn't know. So he has to check it first. If you are clear, he will have to return it back to you, you see. But at that point, he won't know. He's saying that maybe there was a report and happened to say, oh, Jack has the handphone, he snapped my photo there. So that photo will be in your handphone. So I need to go and look at your handphone to find out whether it's yes or no. If it's not there, then fine.
Usually it's the sedition act.
Yeah.
They post something on Facebook.
Oh,
They
zaz you
they
already.
zaz your handphone, they zaz your laptop, they zaz your PC.
Yeah. Zaz everything. So basically, a few times, what you got, I encounter from.
Yeah, it's good to know your rights, but at the same time, there must be mutual respect. Okay?
Actually, I can actually solve this matter very fast. Change my motto only. The motto, the EX5 look like one penyamun one lah.
That's why.
I always cannot stop. Black some more.
So I guess you know your rights, and also at the same time you have to respect that the police are doing their job as well.
Yes.
So it's a mutual thing, right? We cooperate. If you're nothing in the wrong, they should let you go. However, if they have illegally detained you, for example, they have to produce you before a magistrate within 24 hours and all that. If they don't produce you and get the remand order, then they may have, unless of course there are of course always exceptions. For example, if they detain you under ISA or previously was known as ISA.
Poka.
Yeah, so all these kind of things, there are exceptions. But by and large, generally for arrestable offense, you have certain rights as well. And the first thing you're going to look for is a lawyer.
Yes.
Right? I mean, you won't know how to defend yourself,
Correct.
but you have a right to get a lawyer. Or the family member will have a right to represent you. So the lawyer will come and ask you, hey, what's the problem? And don't be afraid if you've not done anything wrong. All right? The justice will prevail. I believe in our system. So just be aware of what you're doing.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So I think that's about it, lah.
That's the time we have for this
segment.
So, not this segment, this show.
So, okay, Gerald, before we say bye-bye, Do you have any
Advice?
advice you want to give to our viewers?
Well, basically, stay safe, and like I said, follow the laws. We may have our difference of opinions, but by and large, we are a peaceful country. Stand up for your rights, but do it in a proper way, and well, just stay safe and stay cool. All right.
Also, there's a number below here. All right. If you see anything, not see any crime like potholes or jalan berlubang, which
Because many people don't know who to call.
who to call. So the number is right here. Is
But nonetheless, do your part. I mean, for better Penang.
Alright, that's
right. Do your
fantastic.
part for a better Penang. All right. All right,
So-
folks. Now it's time to say good night,
A big
goodbye.
thank you to Mr. Gerald Mak. Thank you for
Thank you.
spending time
Thank
with
you for
us.
coming.
Yeah, thank you for having me here.
And
Also, a big
bye
thanks
bye.
to all of you. Bye bye. Good night.